Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so in Louisiana, family, a two-year-old boy, a two-year-old boy named Ezekiel Harry, right, was found in a trash can. This was Tuesday afternoon. He was found in a trash can, right? He was found in a black duffel bag in a trash can. This was on Depsit Street, and I think this is a city in New Orleans. So forgive me if I'm not spelling or saying some of the names correctly. He was reported missing. So this is basically what happened. According to the police, the mother of this two-year-old boy, Maya Jones, she's 28 years old, and her live-in boyfriend, Jermaine Robinson, are in custody, and both are facing charges of first-degree murder in connection with the death of this two-year-old baby, right? So the Louisiana State Police issued an endangered child alert statewide after it was reported that Ezekiel Harry was missing. So what happened was the mother, after her and the boyfriend, and it doesn't say how the young man was killed. It is confirming that it was blunt force trauma to the head. So they dropped him too hard, hit him with something in his head. They were responsible for him dying, right? Now, the reason why they were caught is because the woman, it's on video that the boyfriend took the woman to a neighborhood. Her and her other three kids got out the car and went house to house, basically covering their tracks, saying, okay, have you seen this two-year-old boy? Have you seen this two-year-old boy? The police found out they were full of shit when they have on camera as well her and her boyfriend walking out of the house with the same black duffel bag they end up finding the two-year-old boy's body in. You feel me? And this is another thing about doing crimes in America, right? I don't know if criminals realize at this point, family, but everything's on camera. Every corner, most houses, most enclaves, there's cameras everywhere. So the sloppiness in which people like attempt to do things, I'm always baffled by. But nonetheless, this is the two-year-old baby, right? This is the two-year-old baby that's dead now. The mother's responsible for it. So let's unpack this, right? So this is what I mean by protecting black children. So if you see on the picture I'm showing you, this is the two-year-old baby that was killed by her mother, by his treacherous fucking mother and her live-in boyfriend, right? So this is what I mean by protecting black kids, because all too often I see people in my community, like, because of everything we've had to go through, we look at everything from like a minimalist perspective. What's protecting my kids? What's looking out for my kids? Making sure they eat, making sure they got clothes on their back, making sure they get up every day to go to school. I know for a lot of us, this seems like being thorough as a parent, but it's not. Like, a lot of this shit needs to be unpacked, because when we look at this sister, I don't know what her mental state was. They're not releasing why this happened to the two-year-old boy, but let's just speak facts real quick. This is a mother of four. So this was her fourth kid. This is her live-in boyfriend, which means, not to come at this sister foul, but which means the kids' daddies ain't around like that. Like, the kids, she not with one of the kids' daddies. The fact that, and this is what a lot of our black family got to realize. Like, when we look at fixing our society, fixing black society in general, how we have kids, who we mate with, how we go about sleeping with people, all this shit matters in the grand scheme of things. Because this sister had a two-year-old baby and already had a new live-in boyfriend. I repeat, and this is foul. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. She has a two-year-old baby, and she already has a live-in boyfriend with three other kids. I don't know if all three of those kids had different daddies or the same daddies. It don't matter, but this ain't protecting your baby. Too many of our women, men too, go right from relationship to relationship with kids in tow. You see what I'm saying? Look, every time I look at situations like this, family, this reminds me of myself to a degree. When I say myself, I'm speaking about being a young parent, being a person who don't know much about the world yet, but's choosing to have kids. And this happens to a lot of us, right? So I'm not pointing the finger at this sister as far as being disparaging, but this is foul, and this is dysfunctional parenting at its best. Too many young people decide to have children before knowing who they are, before getting a full scope of what it means to live in this world. We do it a lot. Like we got to keep it real. So whether or not she allowed, because neighbors called the police a few days ago and said that this dude yells and screams and they argue a lot, right? So I don't know if this dude accidentally killed this two-year-old baby. I don't know if they did it on purpose. The point is, they tried to dump his goddamn body. They tried to dump a two-year-old's body in the garbage. Cameras around the area caught him. I hope both of these motherfuckers rot in jail. That's just the bottom line. Like, look, and I'm going to point out some other stories that have been happening here in society. But check it out, family. The system that we live in is not going to protect our kids. Not with public school, not with the police department. No authority figures outside of our home are going to protect our kids. So it's really up to us. It's up to us. It's up to the village, like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Whatever happened to the village? You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, like I said, someone called and told the police that they argue a lot in this house. This is a good thing. But RIP to this young man. Like, this is a 2-year-old baby who won't get an opportunity to go to school, won't get an opportunity to go on a first date, won't get an opportunity to have kids. A life cut short, and because of what? Because of what? Dysfunctional ass adults who haven't wrapped their mind around their own trauma. Right? Let's get to it, family. The reason why shit like this happens is because we have too many fucking black people in America who got unhealed trauma. Your daddy beat you, your daddy molested you, your uncle molested you, you grew up in a home with no parents, you grew up in a home with no love. So now you having kids to seek out the love you never got in your house. This happens all too often. See? So I be on some shit where at this point in my life, being 42 years old, I don't think anybody in America should have babies until they're mentally stable, until they've gotten to a point financially, till they've gotten to a point mentally where they can deal with, manage, have patience, give the necessary resources to a child. Everybody isn't fit to have children. This is a hard and a ugly reality, but this is truth. I'm tired of seeing parents have kids and still be on fuck shit. Have kids and still don't look to do nothing as far as resources. Don't look to mate with the proper person. Look, females and some of my dudes out there. Do y'all know, like, protecting kids, protecting our black babies? That's what the name of the show is today, family. As a community, how do we protect our black babies? Now, it all starts with your kids, right? And many of us don't realize the process of protecting our children and putting them on the path to success actually starts before we have the kids. Can we get into it? It starts before we have the kids. It starts with picking the right partner. Too many women and men, like, this is a story about a mother, but dudes do this shit too. We don't even be knowing who we have around our kids. This is why so many kids in America, I'm speaking about black people in particular, but in America, the rate in which young men and women are molested is baffling, family. It's if you knew the numbers of how many young people in America get molested on a yearly basis, it's horrible, right? All based on the fact that, now, of course, you can be as protective as you want to be as far as where your kid's going to be, and shit can still happen. But all too often, we leave our kids with people that we don't fully trust, or we leave our kids with people that we feel we have to because we got to go to work, because we're in dire need for some reason or another. You know what I mean? But all too often, when we look at this woman's situation, having 4 kids, having a 2-year-old that you and your new live-in boyfriend end up killing, this is dysfunctional shit, and this needs to be addressed, family. Look, we talk about the racism in the part that this system plays, but we have to acknowledge that and then begin to move different, because this is just dysfunctional. And now we have 4 kids that are lost in the sauce. We got 4 kids now because this young man is dead, right? This young man's no longer living, and then she got 3 other kids. So where does the 3 kids go? Right? To the grandma, to the system. See, we got too many young people, and this has been happening for a while in our community, family. Grandmas shouldn't be mothers. It's no way your kid should be living with their damn grandma. Like, that's it. If we have young grandmothers or grandmothers who got kids living with them because of it's their kids or their cousins' kids or their nephews' kids. We know a lot of situations where we got grandmas and aunties raising little bitty ass kids because some irresponsible motherfucker wanted to open their legs and have a baby when they know goddamn well they didn't have a job. They know goddamn well they didn't have resources. Can we talk about that? Like, look, family, there is a proper way to have kids in our society. There is. I'm tired of people making it seem like if you have no resources, no money, not in a relationship with a partner, this is okay. This is not okay. Let's be honest with ourselves, family. This is not okay. It's no way. If you a dude or a woman and you got hella kids by hella different people, this is a sign of being irresponsible. Now, I'm not saying you that today, right? You could have learned from your mistakes and understand some of the pitfalls you've had to go through, and now you're a different person. I'm not saying that's who you are today, but when all this shit happened, you was on some bullshit. See, rarely do we see people who have hella kids, hella different women, and there's money involved. But let me tell you a secret. Even if money is flowing and that's the situation, it's still going to be a small hint of dysfunction because all the kids will not be in the same house. We need to get back to man, woman, child in the house. It shouldn't be man, woman, grandma. It shouldn't be man, woman, hella people unless y'all unified and y'all bonding and living together to create something bigger. Asians, Mexicans do it all the time. I'm not saying it ain't smart to live with your family as long as there's a ends to a mean, as long as y'all doing it for some bigger goal, not just because everybody's struggling and out on their ass. Because of some real shit, other communities do it and it worked out great. You have 4 adults in a house, everybody working full time. Y'all can end up buying a house. Y'all can end up buying a business. Y'all can make moves in that situation as long as it's unity in a certain level of communication and understanding. You see what I'm saying? But we need to be honest. All too often we have people living with their parents because they haven't did the right things in life. They've been irresponsible. So now that their level of irresponsibility is being placed on other people in their family, and this shit is dysfunctional, family. This shit ain't right because I'm always looking at the kids. This woman killed her 2-year-old son, family. She got 3 other kids. It didn't say the ages, but she got 3 other kids. Now these 3 other kids will not have a mother. Now these 3 other kids gonna have to be in foster care. They're gonna have to live with the grandmother. And what do you think ends up happening to kids who come from dire situations like this, right? Then we get the revolving cycle of the street shit. We get the revolving cycle of all these homeless people who are on drugs, who are on all this medication. Do you know where this shit starts? When you see somebody homeless or somebody who seems to be out of their mind sitting on the corner, do we realize a lot of these people, this shit started when they was kids? This shit started from being neglected as a child, then being given this ADHD medicine and all this shit. Now they're seeking out drugs. It's a cycle, and it's a process that starts a lot of time when they're children. You see what I'm saying? So we need to take the parenting thing more serious, family, just from